Shit, sorry.
Okay, you're okay. Sean, don't say engage around Jen. It gives her fucking ideas. And that's shit I can't be dealing with. Hello, and welcome to a horror hangout stream. It's our usual monthly gathering where our crew, our horror hangouts crew, come together to discuss different genres of horror. And since it's the lead up to Paddy's Day, I've decided to host it, and we're going to discuss Irish horror. And tonight joining us is, my ball and chain, I suppose. Jen.
Four-leaf clovers!
Jesus Christ, please just put me down to my history. We're not even a minute in. Jesus Christ.
Isn't it better to start before things get rolling, though?
Yeah, I know. But yeah, the gorgeous, the brilliant, the fantastic Jen Mitchell, my girlfriend. Next to her, animated in both spirit and body, the fantastic Trivial Theatre.
I've never been called spirited in body, but I appreciate that.
Underneath Triv there, we have our leader, our legend, the fantastic Sean Erskine. Yay. A pillar in the horror community, Monty G, the horror
Love that,
miser.
Lisa. Love it. Get it up there.
And lastly, this is long overdue, a fantastic, absolute fucking class YouTuber, Lisa Davies, aka Lisa Loves. It's been a long time coming, but it's great to have you on the yes. channel, Lisa. Thanks a million for coming on.
Thank you for having me, Marty.
Gangsta.
It's
the Irish princess of horror.
Mm-hmm. Oh dear, I can live with that. That's
us Irish have been trying to get rid of a fucking monarchy, Monty. Okay, just come on, man, Jesus.
This is a princess in spirit. This is the kind of princess you want to be, not a corrupt set of assholes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
We got enough of them here in the States.
God knows.
Yeah. Also, shout out to two folks who have just popped into the chat there. We have Ginger Ninja. Hey, Ninja. Legend to have you.
Hello.
And a good friend of the channel and myself and Jen's, DMC, Kiwi at the Movies. Hey, Marty and guest, time for me to be schooled in Irish horror. I need to expand from Leprechaun. Yes, you fucking do, DMC.
Absolutely.
The only films on my collection is The Hollow. That's a good one. And the first Leprechaun films and The Watchers. Oh, don't get me started.
Oh, God, The Watchers.
Oh, boy.
So does this preclude... Does this preclude double Monty or Marty rants tonight?
Look, it's fucking up in the air. This could go any fucking which way. But
it could get ugly, folks.
I was talking to Lisa in the chat a couple of weeks ago when I was compiling the questions, and I said, you know what, to keep the fucking Yanks happy, let's get it out of the way. Let's do it first. Okay, my first question is, and I will start with our fearless leader, Sean. Why the fuck like the Leprechaun movies? Why?
Under the bus, Sean.
I may have to, hang my head in sorrow, but I love Leprechaun.
And you're fucking part Irish, man. What the fuck? What was
yeah, man. You got Irish blood in you, man. What the hell's done wrong with you?
I know, believe me, I know. I'm not trying to say it's like legitimate Irish horror by any means whatsoever. It's just very simple. It's just very simple. It makes me laugh. It's just funny. Every time I watch it, I have a good time and I laugh, and it's that simple. Like, I don't take it serious as horror, and it's not meant to be, because right off the bat, when you watch the first movie, you know exactly what you're in for. This is not going to be serious, intense like horror film. It's just straight goofy, silly slasher movie. That's all it is. It's nothing more, nothing less, and it never tries to be at any point. And I just have fun with it, whether he's in Las Vegas or space or wherever in the hood.
I mean, you did do space better than most.
Twice.
Yeah.
Jesus
Oh
fucking
no! Right,
We're going
that
back
was
to
my
the
only
hood.
ever watched one.
I think that was one of the first Irish lads in fucking space. It was fucking the Leprechaun, for Christ's sake.
I mean, as long
Um,
as they don't name the first rocket that goes, or the Irish rocket that goes into space, Leprechaun 1, you're okay.
For
Jesus.
Lucky
We'll take
Charms.
that all day long.
It's probably be better than what Elon Musk had fucking got. X or
Well.
Y X or fucking horseshit. Oh,
My penis.
Jesus God. Don't
Yeah,
get her
you
Right,
started.
I've
Right,
embarrassed myself. I've embarrassed myself enough. Goodbye. Only kidding.
Acres, I am going to bring that up later on because a lot of people overlook that Neil
Yeah, I know,
Jordan
yeah.
did an Irish vampire movie called Byzantium.
Yeah, I know.
Heard about this. I heard about
Yes,
this today.
yeah, that's
I've
right.
never heard of this before, and I was watching
You
the
never
I
heard
thing.
of
haven't
that one?
seen it yet.
Saoirse
have.
No, I have
Ronan's in
not
it.
seen
It's
this, and I'm like,
it's
why
pretty
have I
good.
not seen this with that cast? Who was Saoirse Ronan and Gemma Arterton's in it?
Whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's gone completely under
I
my
think it's
radar. I
like
haven't seen it.
I think it's kind of based on the Carmilla series, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, cool.
Mhm.
I've seen the preview. I just haven't gotten around to.
It's worth checking out. We'll get to that. Sean, is there any what do you think is the one kind of, as you said, it's disposable fun, it's chewing gum fun, it's not trying to be anything cleverer than it should be, but is there, like, would it be Warwick Davis's performance? Is there anything that kind of stands out that kind of makes
absolutely.
the franchise
That's the biggest thing that stands out. Yeah, Warwick Davis, no doubt.
Yeah, no, look, I always discuss this with Jen. I think even the shittiest movie, you need to at least point out its merits. And yeah, it's hard with that one. Triv, what's your thoughts on the Leprechaun movie and the Leprechaun franchise?
This may come off as a little weird, but I'm kind of middle of the road on it. For all of the bad movies that I watch and enjoy, it's kind of just middle of the road. Like, I appreciate the fact that they put the time in to make the Leprechaun rhyme constantly. Like, that's kind of a neat character trait that that you can see with him. But overall, I'm kind of meh on it. I don't hate it. I don't love it. If it's on, I watch it. But just kind of meh.
Okay.
That sounds terrible. I apologize.
No. It's yeah.
Hey,
I
Trenchy.
prefer an honest answer. Like,
Trenchy.
anyone can go, oh, I love it, or oh, it's shit. You're just pointing out that it's for you, middle of the road. Like,
Right.
oh,
There's
hello
so
to
much.
Trenchy
There's so
in the
much.
chat.
Oh, sorry. Apologies.
Oh, no. Just Trenchy just dropped in, but sorry, I cut across you.
No, absolutely. There's so much stuff that's so much worse, and there's so much stuff that's so much better, Irish and otherwise. And it just, I don't know. I'm like Sean said, Warwick Davis is the reason to show up for that movie. And if you're a Jennifer Aniston fan, maybe. But yeah, overall, it's kind of eh.
He was too old for her, Marty.
Oh boy.
You're not fucking
I am a
doing this
Friends
again.
fan.
Me too.
Jen, between those fuckers not cleaning the house before they fucking painted it, and you fucking going on and on and on, and you're like, oh, but she's too. But fucking Patrick Swayze can go off with Jennifer fucking Grey.
That's different. We
Patrick
talked
Swayze can do whatever the hell he wants.
Jesus Christ.
exactly. Lisa's
I'm
right.
just
Lisa
really-
said it exactly. Patrick Swayze can do
I'm
whatever
just
the
going to
hell he
grab
wants.
some headphones, guys.
That's-
I'll be 2 minutes because it's a bit quiet.
No, you're okay.
Yo, that sounds awesome, Kiwi. When the Old West.
Oh yeah.
Wait,
Love it.
what? Just DMC said, I want him to do Final Leprechaun in the Old West with the Gold Rush. Jeez, don't be giving him fucking ideas, please.
A lot of
Make
people
it happen.
want that one.
You know what? They should go to China and have Leprechaun, like, have them take on the Leprechaun with like four leaf clovers throwing stars.
That's
Nice.
another thing. It's a shamrock has 3 leaves. That's
All right, then a
Four-leaf
3-leaf
clover.
clover, a
Trying to
3-leaf
pass off as
clover
shamrocks.
thing. Then
but is there anything for you that stands out that makes you think, okay, This is okay. I'll put my time into watching this. Is it Warwick Davis's performance, or is
it's
it some of the...
definitely Warwick Davis's performance. I will also say the one thing that you get with and I get obviously there are reasons why Jason always goes back to the camp. The reason that the different slashers stay where they are, but of the different ones, I think Leprechaun is not afraid, or they've been bombastic enough to say, okay, let's take him to space, let's go to the hood twice. They don't have one specific place that they leave him, and I kind of appreciate the fact that they're not glued to one place as much.
Yeah, I suppose it's a silly fucking premise, but they're not it's here's Jason at the camp again, or here's fucking Michael in Haddonfield. At least they're mixing stuff up. I'm going to highlight some of the comments as well here. Ginger Leprechaun down under, make it happen. No.
Are you saying the curtains don't match the drapes? Or sorry, curtains don't match the carpet. The carpet doesn't match the drapes. Whatever the term is.
Trenchy says, if you have a creature or being that has lived for centuries, you should use them in more period pieces. I don't get why they don't do that more. Yeah, that is a good point. I'm glad they kind of done that with Prey, but I'm not fucking equating Leprechaun to fucking Prey or Predator.
That's good.
I wouldn't think so.
Monty, what's your thoughts on the Leprechaun movie and the Leprechaun franchise?
What can I say that hasn't already been said about Leprechaun? It was. I wasn't surprised when they made it. I guess they were trying to make him the next horror icon, because at the time, Freddy, Jason, and Michael were kind of on the downside. So I give Mark Snow credit for trying to create a Leprechaun horror film based on Chuck Lucky Charms, because it looked like it's where he comes from, he's based upon. Warwick Davis, he's about the best thing about the film. He does what the role requires of it, but he's not scary at all. It was like, let's make him a horror film, but let's not make him scary, which I thought was a big mistake. And, and of course, Jennifer Aniston is her first film. I guess you can say something like that. But it's on my tip. It's just okay, all right. They didn't need to make a franchise out of it, though. That's my problem, because unfortunately, the films get worse as it goes further on. And they're all standalone movies too. I mean, even the ones with Back to the Hood, they're all standalone films. In the Hood and Back to the Hood, there's no connecting at all other than Warwick Davis.
I suppose they obviously fucking made bank that they made sequels, and they're not the they're not the... Sorry, I'm just after seeing a Father Ted quote there, and I'm fucking okay. What's up? Don't crack up. I
not like Father Ted, Marty.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Which?
Do you not like it, Father Ted?
Oh, I love Father Ted.
Oh, that's all right.
Lisa,
Jesus, that's sacrilege. That is.
No. I love Father Ted. You know the Ireland's largest lingerie department section.
That's my favorite episode. Yeah.
That's the Dunn's I worked in. That was the Dunn stores I worked in. Yeah.
Oh my God, that's amazing. Sorry for the deviation,
really.
But my
God. That's incredible.
That's incredible.
It was shot in
Holy
Clare.
shit.
A lot of it is shot around Clare, where I live. But
sorry, they're pointing at it. Getting a picture taken.
They've it all fucking changed now. They've it all, it's all revamped and shit.
Find the bras, Marty. Find the bras. They'll not never know the difference.
So Marty, how many priests have gotten stuck in there at any one time? That's a normal occurrence.
I remember fucking one of my friends got to be on the Christmas special as well. He's one of the dudes playing football with Dougal at the end. He's one of the altar boys playing football with Dougal at the end. So
what a claim to fame. Lucky bugger.
But no, sorry, we're going off topic. But Monty, did you not think Warwick Davis on a tricycle was not the most terrifying fucking thing?
I just didn't find it funny. It's funny seeing him ride a tricycle because it's like, okay, I guess it's supposed to be scary because he's riding a tricycle. But I guess it was type of funny,
Look,
you know.
look, you
Does
just
anyone actually find it scary? I thought it was just supposed to be funny. Is it actually meant to be scary?
I don't know what they were
fucking
going
For
for,
young kids,
other than seeing a man riding a kid's toy. I mean, I'm assuming I don't know if they were trying to make it scary or funny, but it was neither or.
This is probably a silly question, but was this released around the same time as the first Chucky, or was Chucky earlier?
Chucky
This
was
came out
earlier.
in
Chuck year
93.
was earlier.
It was
Okay,
earlier.
I asked because if it was in the
So
middle of
how-
like the Chucky craze, maybe they were trying to go, okay,
Yeah.
like doll, little person, leprechaun,
Yeah.
like, oh, let's make him ride a tricycle and,
Maybe, yeah.
I don't know.
No,
Probably.
fucking
Drinking
Leprechaun.
contest.
Leprechaun did it before Billy and Jigsaw. Let's just fucking.
Well, we know who's superior there too, so.
Mhm.
But yeah. Look, you can't get too pissed off because I will fucking rip the shit out of this movie. But it's a movie from the early 90s, an American movie from the early 90s that, like, they could have done worse. I don't know fucking how, but and I will get into what they did do fucking bad. But yeah, Jen, what's your thoughts on this rollicking fucking franchise that is Leprechaun?
Leprechaun is an interesting one because, like, I'm a person who's pretty steadfast, at least with their horror stuff. I'm pretty steadfast. And I saw Leprechaun. I was a little kid, not a little kid, but I was 9, 10-ish, somewhere there when the first one came out. And I remember a little kid me thought, this is pretty cool. It's not scary, but, it's funny. It's cool. And I kind of just took that memory. And then when I rewatched it to do it for the channel, this was like one of the few movies from my childhood. I'm like, oh, this is a lot worse than I remember. Like Warwick Davis, like everyone else said, Warwick Davis is the reason to watch it. And fuck you, Marty, the pogo. I noticed you bring up the tricycle, but the pogo
That fucking pogo. Man, Jesus fucking Christ.
He even had a lightsaber in part 4.
Oh boy.
I mean, it's fun. And I like the fuck you, Lucky. Those kids were terrible. That kid actor was fucking terrible. Fuck you, Lucky Charms. Blow me, kid. Blow me. I liked some of it, but like, and as we go on, like, I know I told you that 2 was fine. I kind of lied so we could do it for St. Patrick's Day. They get worse. I will stand up for Returns. The sci-fi one, Returns, is one of the better ones, actually.
You talk about Leprechaun Returns?
Yes. That
that one I actually did like.
I did too.
Like
I think you and me were about the only ones, and we bought we returned the mentally challenged man in that one, and it worked pretty good, and he was the best part of the movie aside from Warwick Davis. And so those were good. They're just stupid fun. They're just if you get some friends together and you have some favors of whether the lubricating kind or the smoky kind, they could be fun to riff. But yeah, they're not very good. But if you have a horror channel and your boyfriend's Irish, you kind of have to do them. You just have
fucking don't.
I'm sure he would have been fine without it.
Oh, man. They're torturing me both mentally and physically sometimes.
I actually didn't like Returns because I didn't want it to be serious.
I liked it. I think me and Lonnie would
give me the funny stuff.
They kept some of the humor though. They did. It just was a little more.
They kept some of the humor, but it was definitely a more serious tone, and it was and definitely had some decent practical effects.
Yeah, it did. It was in sci-fi. I thought it was going to be shit, and that was one that surprised me. Also, Marty, he was too old for Jennifer Aniston. He was too old. Oh my god!
I love you, but you are a hypocritical psycho. No, Patrick Swayze's okay to go. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Patrick Swayze has his own laws, Marty.
You have hot Patrick Swayze, who, I mean, most of us lose, you lose our virginity to an acne, bag boy. I mean, Jennifer Grey got to lose her virginity to fucking Patrick Swayze. You get a pass on that, Marty. You get a pass. They were just guys that paint. And that
motherfucker would justifiably be eaten alive in prison. When he was like, you fucking, what the fuck? He'd be, honest to God, he'd be passed around like a box of fucking Kleenex if he got sent to fucking prison, okay?
No.
Hey, have you seen him dance? He can charm the pants off anybody, male or female. Or anything in between.
He'd be dancing on the end of some dude called Bubba's dick by the fucking end of the fucking situation. Jesus Christ. I just want to check in the chat. We have Brian Kubrick lover. Hey Brian, how you doing? Any questions or anything like that? Welcome, Toy Father. Hey. And it's okay. Jen mentioned Leprechaun Returns. Now there is one Leprechaun movie.
Oh God, please don't, Marty. Please don't. Please don't do this.
I like Origins.
Origins.
Because they it's a shit movie, but they kind of at least try and get closer to the folklore, and they try and do a proper fucking horror.
Mm-hmm.
But again, I do realize it's a fucking WWE vehicle to kind of get Hornswoggle his own fucking movie. But Lisa, what's your thoughts on this fucking abomination?
I'm very uneducated with this because I've only seen the first one, and that was enough.
Better off. You're better off.
You're better off. You're not missing anything.
I can see why people like it from the humor point of things, but I've never liked movies about, other than Child's Play and Gremlins. They're the two exceptions. But like Ghoulies, all like little things killing people. I don't like it. I don't know why it does. It's not. I find it really hard to mix comedy and horror and enjoy it. Some are like awesome, like one we'll be talking about tonight, no doubt. And Shaun of the Dead and stuff like that, I love, but I don't really like horror and comedy together. I don't know. And it's shit.
Very hard.
And it's so like stereotypical un-Irish. I've never heard an Irish person say top of the morning to you in my life. We don't eat Lucky Charms. It's like, fuck's sake. It's like they took every stereotypical thing.
Testify!
Shit.
Testify!
Because I never heard Irish people say that. I thought that was more of an Australian thing.
Top of the morning to you. Never.
No, I looked into it. So some origins it's actually a derisory term the English had for the Irish. It's
not a surprise.
Yeah, but I'm going to decimate the movie, but I'm not going to totally shit it because it's a byproduct of the 90s. That said, I have some points to make. But Lisa, was there any element of it you did enjoy?
No.
Absolutely not.
Plain and simple.
My humor is really specific, and I'm quite hard to make laugh. I like really stupid things, but that was just a bit too fucking stupid, to be honest. I didn't like it anything. I watched it. I made myself watch it. I think it was back in the days of Three from the Grave, and I think we were covering it for St. Patrick's Day. I think that's why I watched it, and it was torturous. I had to watch it. I wanted to switch it off about 20 minutes in. I had to watch it, and it was every minute of it was just painful. I didn't think it was funny, and I didn't think it was scary, so to me it was pointless. It's horror or comedy, and it's not funny, and it's not scary. So no, hate it. Cannot bear it.
Hello to Lamona who came into the chat. Also Dice popped in. Hello Dice. Thanks.
Nice.
Yes, the dice be rolling.
Oh, David's there as well. Hi David.
Hey,
David Diggs, yeah.
Hey David.
Rob's vintage.
That's the one thing I like, because I have a very typical my sense of humor is not like everyone else. And that's why I find most comedies some people who love that that humor that Adam Sandler used to do, the fart jokes and all this stuff like that. I never find that funny at all. I don't find that funny. When you have to resort to that, that means you're losing audience, and that's why I find horror comedy so hard to do because it's hard to actually blend the horror and the comedy together. And what like with Shaun of the Dead, they're one of the few horror films that actually did the comedy and the horror perfect. But it's so hard
definitely.
to get a horror film funny, and that's why I
Mhm.
didn't. I know what they were trying to do, but it wasn't funny to me.
It's okay. So my issue with these movies, okay. So if Lisa hit the nail in the head with a giant fucking hammer, these aren't fucking funny. These aren't. If you were 5, maybe
Or
if you're a
shillelagh.
5-year-old, these are fucking funny. Okay, there is some gags and stuff that you get a cheap chuckle out of, but it's not that funny. My issue, and again, I'm asking too much of a 90s fucking movie, but if you knew anything, and I have the good grace of being a proper fucking West of Ireland shit kicker. My folks are from the country, my grandparents are from the country. I've known people who are Shanakees. Eddie Lenihan, one of the greatest fucking Shanakees, one of the greatest storytellers, used to come to the Ennis Library, Clare Library, and tell 5-year-old stories that would put the shits up you for weeks on end. And it's wasted potential, because the fact remains, if you could do a fucked up story about leprechauns, you could do a fucked up story about the Fae. There are so many stories about people being cursed, about corpses being stolen, about corpses being fucking raided by fucking fairies or leprechauns, or people traveling home at night, or fucking ditch witches or bog demons. All this fucking stuff, right? You could, because I think the coolest thing about proper modern Irish horrors, we've gone to the folk horror angle, and that again, yeah, I'm asking too much. In one point, I'm asking too much. Oh, maybe it's a lot to ask for a scary leprechaun movie. But let me ask you this. You could have done it, because Sean might have to help me out here. 1988, 1989, Tibor Taka's The Gate. That would have been a great fucking leprechaun movie. You have people who fuck with an ancient rune, and as a result, these weird creatures come up and fuck with people and fuck with the dead, and just that's something that is a folk horror. That is something that could have been a leprechaun movie. Why couldn't we gotten that instead of this fucking Paddy wackery shit? I say as I'm dressed, looking like an extra and fucking the quiet man. But still, why the fuck do we get this? Oh, but Jesus, oh, it struck me clover kind of shite. Why couldn't we have gotten a proper fucking folk horror? I love folk horror. Again, as I said before, my folks, they're very pragmatic people, but there's places out the land. My dad, fucking mountainous region where he keeps his cattle and stuff. There are places he does not let them graze because there are fairy forts and there are other areas that are. He says he doesn't believe in them, but he says he doesn't fuck with it either. So again, the fact that there's an entire generation of people generation of pragmatic people who are like, yeah, I'm not going to fuck with this. I don't 100% believe in it, but I won't fuck with it. That shows that there's something there that can instill fear in fucking people. And we are getting it now with Hole in the Ground, with You Are Not My Mother, with The Hallow. Again, that's what that movie should have been. And I know, as I said before, early 90s, asking a bit too much, but we saw other movies at the time do elements of folk horror. Maybe I'm asking too much. Maybe I'm fucking sounding like a broken record. But for me, the thing that annoys me more than the fact the movie's shit, it's wasted potential. And that's why I do not like the Leprechaun movie. Sorry about that rant.
It's not a rant, though.
It's not a rant, no. But you would think that Mark Snow would at least try to do some research when it came to Irish mythology and the folklore of leprechauns, but I guess he didn't care.
But Monty, think about
Yeah,
Irish,
not at all.
think about any of these things like back then and even now. Like it's surface level stuff. Like what's gonna sell, what's gonna get a movie out the door quicker. And
Mhm.
no shade on Mark Snow, but I think they were going for lowest common denominator. Like
Yep.
as Americans, and it's not dissing on us, it just happens to be a truth in some cases. People take stereotypes. And the stereotypes that have been propagated over the course of time when it comes to anyone, be that Irish, be that whoever, is those things. Whether you're talking like you say, leopard or Lucky Charms, or the way that St. Paddy's Day is celebrated. I studied in Ireland back in college, and going to the St. Paddy's Day parade, like in Dublin, was such an eye-opening thing because all you have for reference is what we get in the States.
Yeah.
Chicago, they dye the rivers green. Everything is shamrocks and everything else. Over there, it was like Dracula, and they were hosting. They were celebrating the World Cup and all of this other stuff, and it's just like, oh my God, this is amazing. It's such a different take, but it's more true to Ireland. It's not just green and orange and whatever else.
Yeah, it's not dyeing the river green or drinking green beer.
Right. Shitty green beer at that.
I think
Shamrock
Americans,
Shake
we
or
kind of
something.
tend to not know as much. Like we think we're very sophisticated and, but we're really not. And I think we take what we see on TV or what we think is, and that's true. Like even with me, like being with Marty, there was a lot of stuff I didn't know about. And I thought I know a little bit of, no, it turns out I didn't know shit. Not that that's surprising anybody, but like it does. And I think Americans, we are not very as well traveled, as well read as we think we are. And again, it's not a dig on America. It's just part of who we are. We think we're the best. So like nothing else can ever top us. And that's not necessarily true.
The other thing with that, sorry, Marty.
No, I'm just gonna say as well. I'm not going to bitch too much because, again, it's a fictional creature. Well, quote unquote, kind of folklore and heritage. It's not. At least we didn't have our fucking patron saint dressed in red, drinking bottles of Coke every fucking December 25th. Like, so, we got off very easily.
Or William Wallace.
Yeah.
I was just gonna add to that too, just with like the idea of with America's stuff. It is like you go 6 hours in any direction, and you're in roughly the same state in a lot of cases. You go 6 hours in any direction anywhere in Europe, or a good chunk of the world, and you're in a completely different neck of the woods. So,
yep.
That travel thing, it's a hard thing to explain to someone that hasn't traveled at least somewhere. Be that a different part of the country, a different part of the world, or whatever. There's just that it's a hard thing to, yeah.
And most Americans haven't even traveled to Canada. Like, let's be honest. I mean, most of them haven't even gone as far as Canada now. That's kind of the way it is.
How many haven't left their state? And that's not a bad thing one way or the other. It's just you have to the opening of your mind to go someplace different, to see something different.
Yeah, like an Irishman's penis.
We're at the halfway point, so I'm
see what you did, Lisa? It was your choice to bring her on the show. This is what we get.
Somebody needs to win the lottery to pay for Jen to come to Ireland to be with Maury.
No, I'll bring her over at some stage. I just need to get my parents to take fucking a lot of the ambient and fucking Xanax and shit. Lisa, have you what's your thoughts in how our kind of folklore and stuff was depicted in early kind of American horror or American stuff? Like, do you think it's?
I don't feel it really was depicted properly. I don't think they were making the movies so much for them to be, relatable to us, or for them to be, correct to tradition. People are just trying to make movies that they think are going to be popular and sell, that are going to be funny, that are trending at the time. It's like someone already said, it probably because Chucky was out, they maybe thought, oh, this will be popular. It's funny. People would all these catchphrases. We've got this wee man dressed in green. I don't think most filmmakers back in the day were particularly bothered about trying to be, like they are now. They're trying to like research it, find out more about it. I don't think that was as big a thing back then. I don't remember seeing an Irish folk horror back in the day that was, like you say, The Gate could have been fantastic.
Yeah.
It was really, really good if they took a
Yeah.
different slant to it. But I can't think of any Irish folk horror before the
No.
last like
Yeah,
20
yeah.
years.
No,
that,
because
you
there
know.
really wasn't that much back then, as they're seeing a little more of it now, but not back then. No.
Yeah, it's understandable because you have to like make your movie for the biggest audience, and our country is absolutely tiny. Look at the size of America. You know what I mean? You want to make something that the most people are going to want to see. You're not trying to please a few Irish people that might be a bit pissed off because it's not exactly right. So I totally understand it, but at the same time, now I'm really happy that we can see movies from all different countries. We're getting to see, like Japanese, Korean, French, Spanish, Australian, just all different countries take on horror, which is a wonderful thing. It's much better now than it was back in the day when everything was just like one, not to be horrible, but everything was American. We didn't really see anything outside of that because they were the only country that was making movies all the time. But
Mhm.
now we're getting to see everything, which is a good thing.
Yeah, no, yeah,
It's great.
and I don't want anyone thinking that this is a fucking punching down on America or anything like that.
No,
No,
not at all.
no.
But
It's just the way it
now we're
was
like,
then and now.
Yeah.
yeah, well, I don't think other countries couldn't really afford to make as many movies. And, everything's so small in other places in comparison. Like America's like, the golden country
The
sort of thing.
Mecca,
They have the money, they have the actors, the directors, and everywhere else, people struggled back then to finance movies. So we didn't see very much come out of smaller countries because America led the way in movies, let's be honest. They probably still do.
Mm.
But I like that we get to see little bits of everything. Now, America still, like, when it comes to like action movies and blockbusters, still lead the way, let's be honest. But I
Yeah.
love to see little bits of different things from different countries. That's
so do I.
definitely an improvement.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's again
See-
one of those things that expands your view and allows you to see things in a different way.
Yeah.
I'm just going to highlight Dice's a comment here that's most often Americans aren't intentionally trying to hurt culture. Doesn't mean it isn't ignorant. When America is trying to hurt culture, you'll know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
I
But
think
Again,
every
must be having
country that
internet
has
connection.
stereotypes. We're
Yeah.
all drunk
I
people that
noticed a
fight a
lot
lot.
of
I
it
think
comes from that.
Guanshan?
I noticed a lot of it
happened.
comes from that Irish film board.
Yeah, we've gotten better. I think the likes of Neil Jordan and stuff really.
I was waiting for him to
And then
stop by.
working with the
Too
yeah,
many.
no,
Too
Eric.
many, Eric.
yeah.
Too many.
You missed it.
Yeah. As
You
a matter of
missed
fact,
it.
I don't know who hates the leprechaun more, you or Eric.
Oh, he'll be disappointed he missed that run then.
I know,
You
yeah.
can watch it in the replay.
I actually thought your rant was very measured, Marty. It was very diplomatic. I was expecting you to get quite cross. So I'm rather impressed you did.
We aren't done yet.
I was going to, but then at the same time, I'm trying to be like, look.
You were downright reserved.
Exactly, yeah.
For fucking me, it is. Yeah.
It's because he's dressed like the quiet man that's kind of tempering down on things.
Oh, my dad was watching The Quiet Man today when I was in at their house. It's one of us. Get this. My dad is Irish. Two of his favourite films are Darby O'Gill and the Little People and The Quiet Man.
Oh, dear
And they're
Jesus.
never off his TV. It's like, oh Christ, not this again. And he quotes it. He talks at the TV when it's, I'll put an elephant's head on you. I can't remember. I'll put a lump on your back and an elephant's head on you is one of the lines. And he's obsessed. It's shocking.
Hey.
Jesus Christ. And Sean Connery is a fucking Irishman. Jesus.
You know what it
I
makes
know,
no
right?
sense than him being Spanish.
Whose idea was
Better
that?
than Highlander.
Oh man.
No, look. I don't want to. I wanted to fucking get everyone's opinion, and I don't want to be some fucking contrarian shitting on a movie for the sake of it. My missus seems to be gone AWOL. Hopefully she'll
Yeah,
come back.
we lost
Yeah,
Jen.
she got internet problems.
Oh no, she'll find me again. Don't fucking
I
worry.
know that.
I tried.
Come on,
Um,
Jen, come on.
Hey,
Sean,
Dana.
Sean, you. Hey, Dana Earls in the chat. Hey, Sean, I'm going to start with you. So for again, if you don't mind, is that okay?
Yeah,
So
sure. Why not?
my next question is, what is your favorite authentic Irish horror?
Well, I'm gonna have to say Wakewood.
That's a good
Good
movie.
choice.
Oh, Wakewood, yes.
Fantastic.
That was part of the Hammer revival, right,
you know-
Sean?
Let's see, I love Hammer, so right off the bat, you get me there. But yeah, I thought it was a great story. How they use in like the pagan ritual and to resurrect people, and giving them 3 days after they pass away to kind of say your goodbyes and do things the right way because you didn't get a chance to when they died suddenly. I just thought that was brilliant, and the idea that of course you're gonna want to keep them longer than 3 days. So what's the blowback from that? I thought it was really well written. It was scary. It was gory. It was everything. It had a great score, great direction, and it's a movie that you never really hear about. You don't really hear people talk about it. Like it's kind of flew under the radar.
It's got a great cast as well. Aidan Gillen, if anyone's a fan of Game of Thrones,
Yeah.
Littlefinger from Game of Thrones, he's fucking brilliant in it. And is it Rufus Swale? I forget which one it is. It's either it's
Is that
his
him with the big
father.
eyes and the curly hair?
Yeah,
Mhm.
he's
Rufus Swale.
he's good as the kind of cult leader as well. Was there anything that you were kind of perplexed by watching it, or was there anything? Because again, you come from an Irish heritage. Was there anything that kind of like you were interested looking more into, or is there anything you got right away, or just kind of you just enjoyed it for what it was, a really good folk horror?
Yeah, I just enjoyed it for what it was. Like you said, a good folk horror. I didn't really look too much into it, how accurate it is, and I just thought it was a good story. And I like how I love how when the girl tries to leave town, you made the deal, you can't leave Wakewood, and that was like that. It stops her, and then she starts bleeding, and like I thought that was cool too.
I think the best kind of Irish horror is always going to be folk horror because there is that kind of because Ireland was so shitty during the Roman occupation. It wasn't until the introduction of St. Patrick that Catholicism came in, so we kept a lot of our pagan beliefs a lot longer than say the Germanic tribes or the English tribes or Hibernian, or not Hibernian, we're Hibernian, but a lot of the kind of British Isles tribes and stuff. And I think that's intrinsical to a lot of kind of superstition and folklore. And I think that is something that, as I was saying earlier on with Leprechaun, there needs to be more of, and we're slowly getting there. Anyone else guys seen Wakewood, and what's your thought? Monty, have you seen Wakewood?
No, I have not seen that one. That's one that I have not seen yet.
Okay.
Oh, check it out, man.
I just caught it for the stream, and man, that it was incredible. That last 15 minutes just blew my hair, like just blew me away. Like the amount that happened during that time was just fantastic.
It's
definitely.
a kick-ass folk horror. Lisa,
Oh,
you seen
so
that one?
I have. I was going to say, I think as a parent, something will frighten me if it's relatable in some way or if I can put myself in the position. And as a parent, you would do anything for that extra time with your child that passes away. And you can tell why she doesn't want to, you know, it to stop. She wants to like go away with their kid. But and if a situation seems real to me, it's scarier, and I found it really, really tense, really like moody. I love the acting. I like the special effects in it. I like the score. That's on my list of one of my favorites actually. Whitewood.
Cool beans, cool beans. Monty, what is your favorite authentic Irish horror?
The one I actually saw a couple years ago, "You Are Not My Mother," which I was actually
That's
finally
a brilliant
found.
one.
Finally,
Nice.
I saw it a couple years ago, and I found it was pretty good. Yes, pretty good. The changeling folklore, where you have
Yeah.
this mother daughter grandmother family dynamic. You see Charlotte. She realizes and her mother is driving her to school. All of a sudden, she says, "I can't do this shit anymore." She just gets out, disappears. She comes back. Next thing you know, everything's fine and bubbling. And we come to find out that she's not who she really is.
It's a great fucking movie because it tries and geez, I wish Jen was here because Jen is better at explaining it. But it drives parallels between kind of depression, mental health issues, and like is it the degradation of the human mind, or has this person actually been replaced? And it's incredibly moody. It's just, again, I'm fucking probably blowing my load here about folk horror, but again, it's another fucking exquisite example of what can be done with Irish folklore and stuff. Lisa, have you seen that one?
I have. When I started watching that, I didn't know a lot of what it was about or where it was going to go. I just watched it because it was a new release, and I thought at the beginning I wasn't really going to like it until it started to get a bit weird, a bit strange. And again, it's like so normal, it's so understated. It's not like all bells and whistles. It's just like a normal family, a normal situation. Oh, there's Jen back. Hello, Jen.
Hi
I
guys.
enjoyed this one.
Blast
Yeah, I
us!
really enjoyed that one as
I
well.
thought I escaped.
What?
Nothing, babe. But no, you enjoyed it despite not knowing what to think of it, Lisa, when you initially saw it, yeah?
When I first saw it, I was like, what is, I thought it was like a drama until it got properly into it. And I'm like, oh, I see. And I ended up really, really enjoying it by the end.
Yeah, Dice, don't give her any ideas.
I was about to say, uh-oh.
Jen, I know you like this one a lot because we were discussing it before, and we are going to do it for a proper stream. You Are Not My Mother. That was Monty's pick for his kind of authentic Irish horror. What's your thoughts on that movie?
Oh, that's mine too. I love that movie. I think that, and I don't think it's a movie that gets talked about much. Like a few people talk about it, but not enough. And it is so good because it gets both the folklore right, but it also on an emotional level. Jesus Christ, because it does. The best horror transcends, and you have such. It's about relationships. It's about the whole bonds of mother-daughter relationships, among many other things. And it's such a clever way. I thought that was the best part of this movie, is it was so fucking clever how they do it. And there's so much, with motherhood, there's so much angst and emotions, especially a mother-daughter relationship. And I just thought it was brilliant, especially when you add the lore to it. I mean, it's fucking
the changing part, yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
exactly.
Yeah, because
it's just fucking brilliant.
Yeah, it's basically about the relationship between Angela and Charlotte or Char. The dynamic between those two. That's what the film. But also when you add the folklore, that's why I enjoyed the film a lot.
And it's also about madness. I mean, I feel like one of our characters is really questioning. She's an outsider. She doesn't feel like she fits in. And, you feel very different, and you're kind of an outcast, and that isolation, which is another thing that this movie really does right, because you're like a square peg in a round hole and you just don't quite fit. And I thought that was another thing that this film really translated beautifully.
Is that true that they also have like social outcasts or clashes between the lower class and the upper classes there in Ireland?
Not to that extent. There is issues with, and again, I'm not fucking gaslighting anyone. There is issues currently, and it's no one's fault and it's everyone's fault with members of the traveling community. I know there's unrest because I was discussing this with my mother the other day. There was a time when I went to school with a lot of kids who were travelers, lovely, down to earth, fucking just they were just on a lower run of the social kind of ladder, but they a lot of them done things like blacksmiths and kind of carpentry and other stuff like that. But in modern day, all that culture is gone. It's if I had to equate it to something, and I'm not trying to romanticize anything or make it any less or more than it is, it's like how the Native Americans, they've lost their culture and had to resort to things like alcoholism and drugs. And now, like the suicide rate and the death rate, particularly on young traveler men between the ages of 18 to 30, it's fucking astronomically bad. And that is down to a kind of major social divide. And also because we're good in a lot of ways, but when it comes to mental health, I think fucking Ireland lags behind a lot of other countries in Europe, health in general in Europe. We're not shit, but we've a lot to go. But I wouldn't say, if I had to say some kind of class divide, I would say the kind of issues and breaks with the traveling community would be a big kind of issue for that. And it's not helped by people fucking going, these people are this and these people are that. That fucking doesn't help. That's there are. It's like any group in society. You're going to get troublemakers or shitheads regardless of where you are. So it's wrong to tar people with the wrong fucking brush. But I wouldn't say. I wouldn't say there's a kind of fucking bourgeoisie. Well, we're not fucking talking to these people. I think for the most part, Irish people are fairly fucking solid. Unless you go somewhere like in Dublin where there's some D4 fuckers, but that's a whole other fucking thing to be dealing with. But no, not to that extent. So yeah, I think kind of it's a good movie. You Are Not My Mother is not only
brilliant movie.
It's a brilliant. Yeah. It is. I think it's one up the run for my pick, but we'll get to that. Triv, what about yourself? What is your favorite authentic Irish horror?
I think it's probably relatively authentic, but I love The Boys from County Hell.
Yes, that's a fun one.
That was decent. Decent.
I just like the combination of things, and I honestly I learned so much from it. And I mean, if you can, I guess it's always kind of an additional thing when you can learn something from like a movie, but like it was just, it balanced that kind of Shaun of the Dead, or sorry, not Shaun of the Dead, that feel of, I don't even know. Like, it was a good vampire movie. It was funny. It had a lot of just good stuff going. And the mythology around it was so interesting to me because I was a complete dumbass when it come to that. So the fact that, like, looking at it, you could date I can't think of Abhartek. I'm sorry, I completely slaughtered the name of the vampire.
What's it? I'm screwing it up.
Just that whole bit, like the you knew, like, obviously from the start you knew things weren't going to be great, but there's just such a balance of all of this stuff and the way that they go about getting rid of him, and I don't know, I just really appreciated what they did with it, and it was fun. I laughed my butt off at it.
I have yet to check that out. I need to check it out.
You haven't seen that one yet?
No, I haven't. I saw Triv's review. I was like, okay, I got to check this out. But fucking life's going to life and shit's going to happen. So I do need to check it out.
Sorry. I just was going to say, we're on vampires. Another one that doesn't get talked about as much as Let the Wrong One In. And no, I'm not confusing it for Let the Right One In. There is an Irish film called Let the Wrong One In. And it's about brothers. It's kind of Lost Boyish in the sense that one brother finds out that his other brother's a vampire and he has to make this decision. Is he going to help him or is he going to kill him? And it's a comedy, but it's pretty good. It's lower budget, but it's not bad. And it's one that I was doing some deep dives and I watched it and it's a solid one. It's solid. I think The Boys from County Hell is probably a little better, but if you've never watched it, give it a watch. It's not bad.
Okay.
Cool.
Anyone else have anything to say about the boys from County Hell? Anything anything they think is why they should check it out? Or I think
Did you know that Bram Stoker, was
Still
Irish?
killer.
Almighty.
It's one of the few horrors that's like one of the few horror comedies that works. It's funny and it's scary at the same time. I
Yes.
love the whole myth or the whole like mythology of is it called a fairy stone? Where they won't touch the stone in the middle of a field. We have them. I drive past them all the time on the way into town. We have fields, and there'll be like a massive big obelisk like stone in the middle of it that the farmers will not move. They won't touch it. They just leave it there and like do whatever they need to do around it. I find that really interesting. Even like you say, really pragmatic people, they just won't fuck with it. Superstition, they won't touch them. So I love to see that in a movie because I see it every day when I'm driving about.
Well, and I think sorry.
Oh no, go on, Trev.
Oh, I was just gonna say in Boys from County Hell it was a pile of stones, but no, same basic concept.
Yeah,
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if the two run the same or not. So
you'll get stacked Karens as well, depending on.
Oh, that's what it was. It was a Karen. So.
Yeah, it was a Karen. Yeah, because I knew it was something else. It was something. Yeah, it was a Karen.
But you get a fairy stone in Rawhead Rex though. So
that's true.
Oh boy.
Lisa, Marty, would you guys touch it or fuck with it, or even you guys would be like, nah, just in case. I don't believe in this shit, but just in case.
I'd be superstitious about certain things, and that would probably I would touch it, but I wouldn't try and damage it or move it or anything like that. I would touch it, but you have to respect the bloody stones. I'm superstitious about ridiculous things.
Me too.
Like again, like my owl lad had it probably bitten into me. Don't go in that field. Don't touch that. Don't pick those flowers. Don't do that. Now, if I was out in the piss and I was like, oh Jesus, I need to take a slash, I'd probably fucking just slash right up against the fucking thing. That's
what got them in trouble in Boys from County Hell. So I don't suggest doing that.
Okay.
Because you will end up like cutting your finger or your dick, and then all hell will break loose.
Jesus. Okay.
I'm just saying.
But no. Yeah, I wouldn't. Again, my folks are just kind of very. They're, as I said, they're very kind of fucking serious people, but they wouldn't fuck with that. It's just a generational thing. Lisa, what about you? What is your favorite kind of authentic, or you feel is an authentic Irish horror?
Well, I don't. This is really lowbrow, but I couldn't pick anything else but Grabbers.
Yes,
I was hoping somebody would say Grabbers because that would be my second one.
Yeah, there's loads that are really like deep and thought-provoking and amazing. Some of which you've mentioned, but I think it gets down the Irish culture and Irish people so well. The humor, like every scene in the bar, is just. I don't know if you agree, Marty, but that's just what people are like here.
It is. The bit with the barman when they're planning to fight against the monsters, and the wife comes in.
It's spot on. I've never seen a film get Irish people so well. A horror movie. And it made me laugh, and it's really difficult for me to mix horror and comedy, but that one, no matter how many times I watch it, I laugh every time. I love it every time. I just feel it works on every level. It's probably my favorite of the list I've got here.
The fact it was made by somebody from Northern Ireland, I guess that's one of the reasons why he got the.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Was he not? Oh right, okay. I didn't know he was Northern Irish.
The bit where fucking the barman, and they're planning to fight against the monsters, and the nosy wife comes in. Oh, what are you doing? She goes out and says, fuck, it's her birthday next month. She thinks we're planning a surprise party.
I'm gonna have to do something. Yeah, that's totally what people are like here.
Or the old woman going up getting the 2 pints. How was the triple bypass, Mary Grant? Thank fuck for that. I love it's basically Ireland's answer to Tremors. If someone's like, hey, should I check this out? I'm like, did you like Tremors? Yeah, it's Tremors Irish fucking style. That's the best way I can describe it. Yeah, guys, what did you think of Grabbers? Had you any like were you kind of like this is funny or like I don't get
Oh
to
yeah,
see
I,
it?
I actually
Yeah.
thought it was funny. Yeah,
I did
I
too.
thought it was funny because I definitely got the Trimmers vibes when I was watching it. Because that's what I said myself. I said somebody must. I said the guy who done this must have loved Trimmers. So,
That's
but it was
exactly
funny.
what I thought. Yeah.
Mm.
It's at least a once every 6-month watch, if not more.
It's
Oh,
brilliant.
awesome.
Wow,
It's,
you like that one?
I do very much.
I love poor fucking Russell Tovey as well from Being Human. He's like he thinks he's okay
Yeah.
because he's drunk, and the thing just fucking blasts away. Also, big hello to John Steele in the chat. How are you doing, John?
Well done.
Oh,
Hello.
Hey,
So, the love of my life, my partner, my love, my everything. What is your favorite authentic Irish horror?
The authentic, I definitely think You Are Not My Mother is the gold standard for me. But personal favorite is definitely Wakewood. I know a lot of people say it's just a carbon copy of Pet Sematary, and yeah, there's definitely elements of that. But I think in some ways it does it better. And I fucking love, this, Marty. I fucking love Wakewood. I fucking love it, and it has a kind of a bleak and hopelessness that just really vibes. Of course, it does. It really vibes with me for some reason.
Lisa made a really good point, and I'm wondering, do you share it? Because Lisa pointed out, as a parent, that's kind of the more jarring kind of aspect as well. Would you
Yeah.
agree?
Yes, I do, because, and I mean, it's such you put yourself in those shoes, like as a parent, and then you're gonna get the kid back, but you're only, and it sounds long, and then you have it, and you don't, and I don't know how you'd let it go, that, you're supposed to let it go and, grieve, but I don't know how you could do that. I don't fucking know how you could do that. I mean, it just makes every time I see it, it makes my blood run cold. It just does.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're a parent, it's just, you understand.
You'd
If you're a
sell
parent.
your soul as a parent to
Yeah.
have more time with your child. You would, but you wouldn't think about the repercussions, or if you can have more time with that child, you do what it takes.
Yeah. I mean, and it's madness. It's madness.
Did you think it was crossing the line just a wee bit when they opened the coffin and they cut the girl's finger off to get the memento?
No. I mean, it was
Like,
it was
this
hard
is
to
a little
watch.
bit. This is a
It
little
was hard to
crazy.
watch, but again, like Lisa said, you'll do whatever. I mean,
You'll do
you will.
anything,
I
yeah.
mean, you won't even blink. You'll do, if it buys you some more time, you're gonna do it no matter what. You'll do anything. That's just a parent, and I think that movie captures it. And I fucking love Pet Sematary, but Wakewood is just as good. And it does think there's some differences between the two. It's similar, but there are some differences too. And in some ways, I think Wakewood does it just as good as Pet Sematary. And it's one that no one ever talks about. And I don't understand. I guess I can't understand why. It's a very dark film, but God, I love it. God, I love that movie.
David Diggs has a question for myself, and he said, I'm going to go with fairies because, again, if anyone's interested, look up, he's got his own YouTube channel, I was talking about him earlier on. He's a Shanachie Irish storyteller by the name of Eddie Lenihan, and this guy fucking tells some
story.
amazing story. Like, he made me afraid of black cats. He told a story about how fucking scary black cats can be if you cross them or if you fuck with them. And yeah, again, I'm going to go with fairies because, as he says, they're not the little flirty things from Disney. They're these fucking horrible creatures. And like, I love the story, the origin of the fairy folk. Essentially, God, when Lucifer was overthrown, God cast down all the fucking creatures to hell. But then Peter was like, look, the hell's going to be too full. You're going to have to fucking stop. So he stops. He fucking stopped them all from falling. What was in hell stayed in hell. What was in heaven stayed in heaven. And what was on earth was just really fucking spiteful. And that's what became the fairy folk. And I love that fucking idea that it's just a bunch of angels that are pissed off, that are stuck in fucking limbo. I just like that idea.
What's the second one next to Banshees? Was it Banabitch?
I don't know what that or a mucky is.
Banyok. I think Banyok.
Banyok.
What's that? I never
Um,
heard of that one.
according to Google, preternatural beings described as specters that haunt battlefields.
Yeah.
Oh,
They,
right.
sometimes they take the heads or the appearance of dead soldiers. Sometimes they take I heard one story about one reassembling itself. The specter reassembled the body, but couldn't find enough parts from
my
a dead soldier, so it used parts of a cavalry horse. So the
Oh,
thing had a
God.
horse's head and a soldier's body. Just fucking weird fucking stories. But yeah, I love. There's another story about like ditch demons and fucking bog witches, and like back in the old days, there'd be lads digging a trench at the side of the road, and their shovel would get stuck in a hole, and they had to pay for the shovel. So your man went down the hole to try and pull the shovel up, and when his friends pulled him back, his head was missing because something down the hole
Oh,
just
Oh,
fucking ate the head. So it's just I like that. I like the fact that it's like, oh yeah, look at the little fucking lad in the front of the cereal box. No, and that
Very
that
interesting.
that brings me to my favorite one, and I still like it, but it has gone down a ring or two since You Are Not My Mother came out, because I think they took the same idea but done a better version. But for me,
Yeah.
it was the proper kind of first proper folk horror for me. Hole in the Ground.
Yeah.
I love Hole in the Ground,
Yeah.
and
Very
just
good.
the idea that they also use an old for the soundtrack, they use an old kind of Irish song, a Willa Willa Wanya, about a woman who drowned her baby, and that gives the connotation that the woman wasn't insane or crazy. She just realized her baby was a changeling, and that's why she fucking killed it. And I like the idea that, like, the thing you love, the thing you want to protect, it's almost an opposite of the Wakewood, where you have your child, but it ain't your fucking child, and that's what I like. Now, again, I think You Are Not My Mother definitely goes up a run or two when it comes to folk horror, but for the time, and I understand Sparky, it isn't Sparky's favorite movie, but for me, Lee Cronin crafted at the time, and I think still holds up, one of the best folk horrors. Maybe I'm just too kind of nostalgic for it, or I just think it was kind of the first proper one. What do you guys think? Do you think it's only middling? Jen, what do you think?
I didn't have as many problems with it as Sparky did. I don't love it as much as You Are Not My Mother's the one that really clicked with me. It's not bad, especially after you explained some things to me. Again, I was pretty ignorant when I watched that film, so I didn't know as much as I do now. On a rewatch, it's not bad, but I still prefer if you're just asking me, I still prefer You're Not My Mother, but it does have some merit. And like you said, it's very much the opposite of Wakewood, because, the thing you treasure the most isn't what you're really treasuring the most. And that's a very scary idea.
Yeah, I just love. Anyone else seen it? Anyone else have any thoughts on it?
Yeah, I
haven't seen
saw it, and
got it.
for me, it was the opposite. I liked it a lot better than You Are Not My Mother, honestly. I thought it was a lot scarier, and I loved the direction. It gave me real, like, Stanley Kubrick vibes. And I especially love this. On the surface, I can see how some people might think it's like another bad kid movie, like, The Bad Seed or The Good Son or whatever, The Orphan or whatever. But there's a lot more to it than that, And it scared me, the scene where the mother goes into the forest in the pitch black of night with just a little dinky flashlight. I could just picture doing that and being like terrified, like anything could be in it. Could be coyotes in there, it could be a bear, like that's so scary.
The thing is, that movie, like, again, I like that. I like that movie. I love that movie. And when you go back and watch it, I'm like, yeah, I can see why Lee Cronin got the Evil Dead gig because of this.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's good. Triv, Lisa, have you any kind of thoughts on it, or?
I've not seen it. I tried to watch it. I just ran out of time.
Okay.
I saw it when it first came out, and I haven't seen it in a long time. I would need to rewatch it. I think I watched about 5 Irish movies over the last few days, and I didn't get to that one. I seem to remember thinking it was okay. I didn't
Mhm.
love it and I didn't hate it. I was just, but it's one of the maybe could do with rewatching it because I don't remember an awful lot about it. But that says nothing because my memory is shocking. But I think it was okay. It wasn't one of my favorites.
Yeah, I was
Okay.
kind of the same way.
Monty, what's your thoughts, sir, on it? Did you like it? Did you hate it?
No,
Did you think
unfortunately, I
it?
have not seen. I haven't seen that one yet. I heard it was good, but I haven't seen it yet.
Again, I have a soft spot for it. I genuinely think that was probably the best audition tape for Evil Dead Rise Lee Cronin could have ever
Yeah.
fucking done.
Mm-hmm.
And if you haven't seen it, definitely check it out. My third question is probably going to be a slip onto this one because I made it up and then I realized we don't really have that many, but fuck it, I'll throw it out there anyway. Is there any underappreciated or kind of under the radar Irish horror movies? Jen, I'll start with you. That you think people should check out.
There's one, and don't get it confused because there's a movie from Netflix. It's the movie's called The Dig, and don't get the one with Nicole Kidman. I can't remember which year it came out. It's 2016, 2018, something like that. And it is great. It's about a guy and he murders someone, but he completely blacked it out. He murders someone's daughter. He gets out and he goes back to the father and he can't remember where he buried her. And so through like struggle, the father at first doesn't want him around, but the two men start working together to try to find the body. And things aren't what they seem. And there's other family members. And you're thinking, well, what does this have to do with? There's Irish folklore that plays a thing. There's a big twist at the end. You might see the twist coming. I did, but I still really enjoyed it. Now, it's a slow burn, but it's really good. It's called The Dig. Now, if you get the one with Nicole Kidman, you're on the wrong movie. I want to say 2018. But it's really good and nobody's talked about it. I watched it last night to prepare for this and I haven't heard anybody talk about it, but it's really good and it's heavy.
Okay.
I definitely that one.
I definitely think I'm going to have to check that one out.
It's good.
Triv, what about you? Is there any Irish movie that you think that you came across in your travels that you think more people need to see or check out?
I don't know how known or unknown this one is, but there's one called Without Name from 2016. And it's basically a surveyor is surveying this an area that's known as known for its fairy forts. And he, continues to do his thing. Obviously, it's going to be segmented out and all that stuff by a foreign company. And stuff starts to happen. He runs across, starts to have all these weird visions. He runs across a traveler and has some interactions there. There's just a lot that I hadn't seen in Irish horror before. Regarded my Irish horror as a little on the low side, but it was a fantastic movie and it went places you kind of get the idea of where it's going, but it went in directions I didn't expect. It's more thriller than horror, I would say, but it was a fantastic movie. It's beautiful.
I need to see that one because I'm fucking I'm also I just want to bring up John Cleveland brought up a really good one. Teggy, it's Irish. It is an Irish. It's basically Irish immigrants in I think 1700s or early 1800s Australia, and this woman,
brutal.
Yeah, her child and her husband are killed by a British officer. And she teams up with an Aborigine to hunt him down, and she's haunted by the ghost of her dead husband and dead child. And it's really fucking good. If you haven't seen it, definitely check it out.
Nice.
It's brutal though. Even I'm saying it's brutal.
It's hard to watch in places, definitely.
Yeah.
Lisa, what about yourself? Is there any flick or Irish movie that you think needs a bit more attention?
I picked two. One of them maybe isn't so much unknown as The Hallow, but apart from horror fans, I never hear anyone talking about it. But my favorite one is called A Dark Song. I don't know if anyone's seen it. It's about a woman that goes to an isolated house. Is it in Wales? With this guy that's going to perform this, what's the word? Some sort of rite on her that in real life, oh Jesus, I've forgotten the guy's name. Aleister Crowley actually tried to do this in real life, it's a right to like bring someone back or get to speak to someone that's passed over, and the whole thing is set in this big house. I think it's amazing. I love it.
Okay.
I think I might have come by
Very
a trailer of that. I gotta actually check it out. That sounds cool. What
Yeah.
year did it come out, Lisa? Do you know?
Oh Jesus, I'll have to look it up. I'm not sure.
No, I
It's
can.
very-
No, just if it can't hand, I'll definitely hunt it down.
It's very understated. It's, not very like bells and whistles. It's got a really amazing part at the end that's quite surprising, but you've watched something really low budget and really, well, not low budget's the wrong word. It doesn't go in for loads of special effects, but the ending of it is pretty surprising. I'm just looking it up here. I watched it again a couple of nights ago. 2016
Cool.
by
The-
Liam Gavin.
You
Nice.
also mentioned the Hallow. That's a great depiction of
I
fairies.
watched that last
Mhm.
night. Yeah, I really
That's-
enjoyed it. Well, I'd seen it before, but I rewatched it last night. I really enjoyed it. I found it quite freaky, quite, the ending. I'm not going to say what happens, but the
The
last half hour of it
designs-
was really creepy.
The designs
Mhm.
for some of the creatures and
They were brilliant, weren't they?
Yeah, that was fucking amazing. Sean, yourself, is there any horror movie, Irish horror, that you think more people need to check out?
Yeah, there's one that I really enjoyed that I never really hear anybody talk about, and it's called The Lodgers.
Oh,
Very nice.
Really good kind of Irish kind of haunted house kind of movie. Beautiful cinematography, great direction. It's got really creepy atmosphere, and it's just an interesting story about these two twins. A guy and a girl that have lived in this house for I don't know, maybe centuries, but they're like, and the boy twin just cannot leave the house ever. But the girl wants to get out. She wants to get out into society and live life, and they clash. Like it's interesting, and it plays on the tight knit relationships between twins, and things get weird, really weird. And at the same time, this guy's trying to sell the house off, and they're like, well, we can't leave, and there's these weird, like, creepy monsters that live under the house that creep up and come out at night. It's a good movie. I like it.
it is.
Okay, I can check that one out.
I haven't heard of that either.
I got
That's 3 new ones I've got added to my list.
See?
Now you dig
See?
without naming
How
the
about
Lodgers.
that? I
haven't seen
came
any
up
of
with
them.
one.
Woohoo!
Monty, what about yourself? Is there any Irish horror movie that you watched?
I don't know if anyone has talks about this one. It's 2017, The Cured.
Yes,
That's a zombie
Elliot
one, isn't it?
Page, right?
Yeah,
Elliot Page is in it, right?
Yeah, it's I didn't they make this into a series too? I don't know if that the movie is compared. 'Cause I know it's a series called The Cure too. It's about a virus that turns people into zombie-like creatures. They eventually find a cure, and like 75% are cured, and 25% are resistance to the antidote. So they stick the 25%. They keep them alive for some dumb reason. They get them restrained, and they have the cure put place in this facility, and thinking about reintegrating them back into the city. And obviously, that turns out to be a disaster.
Yeah, I remember seeing that was cool. Elliot Page is brilliant, and
Yes.
the kind of relationship between her and her brother. I think it's her
Yes.
brother, right?
Mhm.
That was good. That's a kick-ass one. And it's what we've seen so much shit being done with zombies that it's a nice different kind of take. It's the only thing that kind of came close to it is another movie. Ironic, it's not an Irish movie, but a movie that comes close to it is an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie that's really fucking good. Maggie.
Oh,
Maggie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maggie,
Yeah.
yes, Maggie, yes.
That's a good
Yeah.
one.
That's a cool one. Myself, this is a bit of an old one. Well, I don't think it's old, but then again, 2005's Isolation. Everything else we've heard about for the most part so far has been folk horror. This is Ireland. Billy O'Brien, director Billy O'Brien. He only done this, and I think he done about a few commercials. But this is if Alien or John Carpenter's The Thing was set in Ireland on a farm. Oh Christ!
And it's got John Lynch in it. I mean, you can't go wrong with John Lynch.
Yeah, John Lynch plays this farmer who's basically he's fucking farm circling the drain with the bank. So he allows some geneticists to experiment on his cattle. At the same time, Sean Harris and Ruth Nagia, you know Ruth Nagia from Preacher and Sean Harris from Prometheus. He's the fucking idiot who takes off his fucking helmet. They play a young traveler couple who stay on the land and they become embroiled in it. And it's really fucking good. If you haven't seen this movie, check it out. It does peter out a bit at the end, but for the most part, it's a nail biter, and the creature effects they know not to kind of fucking show everything, but you do get this kind of cool creature, and it's has anyone else seen that one?
I can't say I have.
No, it's
that.
I did because
2005.
you mentioned it.
It's
But that's the only reason.
it's kick-arse. If you want an Irish version of The Thing or Alien, check out Isolation. You definitely have to check it out. And come here, we've been blowing smoke up fucking Ireland's horror arse for the entire trip. I am going to be honest.
Isn't
there
that
are
Jen's
some-
job?
There are some. Don't give her ideas. There are some fucking clunkers out there as well, guys. We don't fucking. Not everything's a quote unquote pot of gold. Boy eats girl. Avoid that. Jesus fucking Christ! Avoid that movie. And the one. Gee, I hated this fucking movie with a burning passion. Shrooms. If I could find the director of Shrooms, I would kick that motherfucker in the dick.
I didn't get to see it, but the way you described it to me made me want to see it. I didn't want to see it till you told me about it, and then I'm like, I kind of want to see it.
It's like you just know the fucker who directed it was some poncy fucking D4 art student. Yeah, I'm gonna have a real cerebral ending. Fuck you, man. Fuck you.
Some people like it though, because I was doing deep dives to try to find some movies, and a lot of people brought it up, and a lot of people like it. Of course, they probably weren't American.
You know who likes shrooms? Motherfuckers who are on fucking shrooms. That's who likes fucking shrooms. Okay.
Just for now, shrooms comes into play in Without Name.
Oh, Jesus. I hate that fucking movie. I loathe it.
Might I add a movie to the list of ones that they're not. This one's not terrible, but I watched it and it had potential. There was bits that were hilarious. Like it felt like it was trying to do Shaun of the Dead, but it just didn't have the gumption to do Shaun of the Dead. Because like Lisa said, horror and comedy is difficult, and this was, I don't know, for me at least, it was kind of on the fence. It's called Follow the Dead. It came out in 2021. 2020. But the thing that sucked, it had moments of brilliance. Like it had these conversations. Like this guy is talking to a pescatarian, and she's like, "Oh, you don't," or the guy's like, "Oh, you don't drink milk." She's like, "No." He's like, "What do you put in your tea?" And then there's this whole bit about, "Oh, you know this." The lady's like, "Well, isn't it weird that you're drinking cow titty milk?" And the guy's kind of like takes his tea and then he kind of just hands it over to the guy. Like there's moments of really witty, funny stuff, and then the rest of the movie happens.
Bear with me 1 second, guys. I'm just having some technical issues. Jen, steer the ship.
Oh God.
Well, it's all down to you, Jen.
I have one that I didn't hate, but I hear mixed things. Now it's not Art the Clown, but how do y'all feel about Stitches?
I haven't seen that.
I haven't seen it.
You might be better off. It's a generic clown movie, but it's kind of funny. Like I'd be interested to hear what you have to say, Lisa, because like there is comedy, but I don't know if it'd work. It made me smirk. It was good enough to make me smirk. It's not a
I
bad
know
one.
the one you mean.
Yeah, and it's
I've never
heard of it.
Oh no, I've seen the trailer and I saw it advertised. It just never appealed to me. I don't know why. But no, I haven't seen that one.
You're not missing much out, but I guess if you're desperate or you need to find another clown movie, it's not the worst clown movie out there.
We don't have enough of those.
We're getting clown. I'm excited for Clown in the Cornfield, guys. I'm excited for Clown in the Cornfield.
Oh yeah, so am I. Yes, that was
Yeah.
pretty good.
Yeah, it's the books I've heard are good. I haven't read the books yet, but I've heard from people that read them that they're pretty good. Okay, I have a hot take where we're bad Irish films, and I think Lisa's going to disagree with me because I think you liked it. I really didn't like The Watchers. I really didn't like The Watchers. I'm sorry.
To be fair, Jen, most people really didn't like The Watchers. I seem to be completely on my own with it. Again, John Lynch is in it. I will forgive pretty much anything if John Lynch is in a movie. But granted, the ending is a bit naff, and it all happens too quickly. It's like everything kicks off, and it's like, what? She's flying now? What the fuck's going on? But to that point, I really liked it. I don't know why. I just really enjoyed that one.
I get you.
I think I'm on my own.
I haven't heard anyone else. I have to steal what Sparky said and said, did they ever think to look under? You know, they're in that room for so long. Did they ever think to look under the rug?
No, obviously not.
I mean, that's a general question when you're talking about women. If you're not looking under the rug, what is the point?
I know. I tell Marty that all the time.
God almighty.
Well,
let's say, look, my own fault. I left you in charge. I knew the conversation was coming. I'm joking. So my last secret question, Jen knows what it is. Lisa, you're exempt from this question, okay?
Okay.
This is a personal horror for me. This is a real life personal horror. My fourth and final question is, why the fuck do you guys think we eat corned beef and fucking cabbage? Can someone please fucking explain that to me?
No, I don't know. I've never heard that before. The Haddish, I heard about the Haddish, but not about that particular one.
Apparently, what she is was St. Patrick's Day.
No, I haven't. Corned beef.
Yeah. I'm as shocked as you are, Lisa. Look, guys, hang on a minute. I have to fucking and Jen was disgusted by this, but I have to fucking
It must come from somewhere.
No, look, this is what we eat. This is what we eat. This is bacon and cabbage. This is what we eat. Well, I have no fuck. I think it had something to do with immigrants not being able to find pigs when we went over.
It might very well be like a Midwest, and I'm sure that it's more than just Midwest, but bacon by your standards is obviously Canadian bacon here. Maybe there's something about the crossover to corned beef being sort of on that same route. Because I didn't grow up around a lot of Irish heritage folks, but like my sister lives in by Notre Dame, the college, and like it's huge there. Like you can't go anywhere without finding corned beef. It's like Friday nights in an area that's Catholic, you're gonna have a fish fry even if you're not Irish or not Catholic. But I would assume it's maybe just that thing about like they couldn't necessarily find the same thing, so they went with something that was sort of similar,
like a pumpkin, kind of a Gordon.
Yeah,
pumpkin.
Yeah, exactly.
Jesus,
but
corned beef. I think it's because
I've never heard that in my life.
Yeah,
I like corned beef with English corn.
Never heard that.
No, because we maybe I like myself. I was joking with Jen. I guarantee you, it was some fucking prick from fucking Mayo or Connemara went over there. Lads, I'm gonna fucking tell the Yanks this is what we actually eat. And fucking, they were like, oh yeah. This joke will last about a week. Fucking a century later, they're still fucking eating this shit, Michael. What do we do?
Wouldn't you say the same thing about like Irish coffee? Like that's not an Irish thing, but like when we went over there to study, the very first thing that everybody wanted to go to a bar and order an Irish coffee because it was so very Irish.
Did they know what it was when you went in the bar?
Yeah, they did. That was just like, okay, coffee and whiskey. I mean, It wasn't so bad. There was some dumbass when we went to Belfast. They ordered an Irish car bomb, and
Oh,
they
geez.
got a flaming towers.
That's that is a thing, yeah.
Yeah, it's like, oh god.
Yeah, Irish
That's nothing
butter.
but
Irish butter.
Irish
But,
butter.
I
Yeah.
think I think
You guys just
so.
feel like, where do you Americans come up with this shit?
Yeah.
Hey, Jason. I think like there is a kind of a lot of misconceptions about fucking Irish people that still need to be hit in the fucking
Yeah,
head.
they definitely got that confused with some other culture.
Mm.
Yeah.
Has anyone their own questions or topics or anything relating to Irish horror or favorite kind of things to do with Ireland?
Just to piggyback with Jen's question about the Watchers, it was okay until the third act.
Yeah.
The third act lost me. It's just like I don't know. It's again with M. Shyamalan with his daughters. It's like he screws up a trap, and then his daughter can't get his daughter.
God, I hate that movie. God, I hate that movie.
Why hear Jen rant?
Better or worse than Megan?
His
Right, I have to
daughter,
ask him.
she's beautiful and she can sing. She cannot act to save her life. Your husband is the butcher acting. I hate that movie.
I didn't mean to bring that up, but yeah, it was okay. But that third act, it's like, well, I don't know what she was
bit
trying
mad,
to
isn't
do.
it? Yeah.
See, that was my only
Michael-
problem. Like I said, it wasn't a bad film. It was just.
I have to ask, after last night subjecting myself to half an hour of this and being unable to take any more, does anyone actually like Rawhead Rex?
I was just gonna say nobody's mentioned
Okay,
Rawhead Rex.
so
I thought,
if
right, I
you've
remember.
read the Clive Barker novel, right?
No,
It's
I know
it's
Right.
Clive Barker hates it.
yeah,
Mhm.
it's supposed to be set in England. It's supposed to be some fucking English picking, and the because it's Clive Barker, the monster's supposed to be phallic looking. Well, it looks cock
Yeah,
all
I've heard
right,
that,
but for all the wrong fucking reasons. in that
All
movie.
wrong.
Oh man, I saw that movie. I'm like, what is this? This is supposed to be a bad version of the Australian movie Roar. I mean, Boar.
Bore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I like that movie.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and the American version, I can't remember it. Razorback. Razorback.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the world? Who made this movie? God.
I
I'm like,
I-
what am thinking? Is this
I
serious?
thought it would have
What
been
the fuck?
cool if it
I-
was like CGI the monster.
It look, Sean. It looks like a member of fucking Lordy got fucking pissed drunk and took off a fucking burn. That's what it fucking looks like, man.
Uh,
Hey, Larry.
I mean,
Oh,
and Boar has its problems because it has some terrible CGI at some parts, especially at some parts in the movie. But at least, I mean, just oh god, this.
There's some people that like it though. I've seen it
yeah.
on lists.
It's got a cult status. I mean, in fairness, Jen, I
Yeah,
like
definitely.
fucking Night Beast, and I know how you feel about Night Beast.
I like your Night Beast.
Oh god.
Oh boy.
I think any of those kind of movies, like you said, it is a cult status thing. It is something that is it runs the line
It's a
between
Lord's
so good it's bad and just bad. But when you get with a group, like it's one of those movies you watch
Yeah.
with a group, and
You need a few
that's
drinks.
what exactly. You imbibe whatever your substance of choice is. You sit back and you just go to town. And that's like those movies.
It's like
are
an
an unintentional-
MSK 3000 movie.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's
Mhm.
exactly where it falls. I'm part of a bad movie group that every Friday night watches a couple of movies, and like Rawhead Rex fits right into that level
Yeah,
of bad
I-
because
when I first saw that, I was thinking about you, Trip. I said,
Yeah.
Trip would probably love this.
I enjoy it. It's not something I would rewatch on a regular basis, especially by myself. But I think that like anything else, it has merits. The fact that when they made it, they probably did anticipate that it was going to be, some great big thing, and then, fell on its ass. So,
The sad thing is, as well, it has a fairly substantial Irish cast. I mean, Neil Tobin, who was a great fucking actor and a great comedian, if you get a chance, he's in it and he's fucking wasted. And there's a couple other, like, if you've watched Irish television or if you've watched Irish movies, there's a couple of lads you'll spot. I had heard a horrible story about it was shown in Ireland, and when Rawhead Rex attacked the camping site, people cheered because they assumed it was a fucking haunted site with travelers. And I'm like, oh Jesus, please no, for fuck's sake, lads. But I'd put it up with the likes of Boy Eats Girl and fucking Shrooms for bad fucking horror movies. Yeah, no, Cillian Murphy's a good Irish actor. A lot of people don't know if Michael Fassbender's Irish as well.
That's
a lot of people
that's a great movie right there.
But what's actually, guys, what's your plans for Paddy's Day? Triv, have you any? You're going somewhere for Paddy's, right?
The next day I am. My car is being a little silly, so I'm going to be traveling to where the airport is on that Monday. So I'll try to hit an Irish pub at some point just to celebrate, but by and large, it's kind of a travel day. So normally I'd go all out, and it's actually my channel's like my first upload on my channel because I'm kind of a freak. But, yeah, so it's good. So
nice. Sean, what about yourself? What's your plans for Paddy's Day?
I'm gonna celebrate the great tradition of eating corned beef and cabbage.
Oh, motherfucker! Fucking Christ!
Have a pint of Guinness.
I'd fucking, do you know what? You should have given us the smallpox fucking infested blankets. Better than fucking Jesus Christ. Monty, please help me out here. What are you going to do?
Probably just me and Kelly will probably just chill. Nothing really planned.
There you go.
Is there any parades on in your area? Do you have
not where I live at? No. I know they have the St. Paddy's Day parade, but it might get rained out. It's supposed to rain here in Philly that day.
Also, I just want to thank everyone for saying Paddy's Day and not Patty's Day. Whoever fucking Patty's Day. Who the fuck is Patty? Patty sounds like some woman who works in a fucking salon doing someone's highlights. Saying Patty's Day. Oh my God, your fucking hair is good. Oh.
Actually, you're not too far off. I have an aunt named Paddy. No kidding.
Trisha.
Oh, man.
But seriously, it's Paddy, but fucking Jesus.
Paddy. St. Paddy's Day.
And do you know what else floors fucking people when I tell him he's not even Irish? What? Yeah, we kidnapped the cunt. We
That's right.
So what happened was there was a pirate called Nile of the Nine Hostages. I know this story from fucking I was shoulder high. Nile of the Nine Hostages kidnapped St. Patrick from Wales, brought him over, sold him to a Celtic tribe. The Celtic tribe was like, what the fuck will you do with him? Let's make him a shepherd. Fire him up on the fucking tall fucking mountain there and let him mind the sheep. And he's minded the sheep and it's freezing cold and he's like, what the fuck am I going to eat? So he's probably eating mushrooms that are growing out of sheep shit. The two Celtic fucking tribesmen come back and are like, oh fuck, we forgot about the cunt we left up with the sheep. Let's go up and check on him. They go up and they're like, I found Jesus. I found the Lord. Like, what we do? I don't know. We'll just tell our father he ran away. What's the worst that could happen? That's essentially what happened with St. Patrick.
Yeah, it is.
They ruined a perfectly good slave.
They did. They left him up in the mountain. He ate mushrooms that grew out of sheep shit and nearly got exposure. And that's how he saw God. That's This is fucking
You know, there are
horrible.
worse ways.
Jesus Christ. But what, Lisa? What about yourself? Is Isaac taking part in any parade or any? Is he with any soccer teams or hurling teams?
My answer's really really boring. I think you might know a bit, Marty, in Northern Ireland, it's really, really difficult to celebrate St. Patrick's Day. Not to bring anything down, like this t-shirt, you probably can't see it says Irish on it. I couldn't wear this out of the house because of the whole trouble situation that we've had over the years. Unless you live in very specific parts of Northern Ireland, we're not allowed a St. Patrick's Day parade. We're not allowed to wear anything that identifies us as Irish. So when I lived in England for about 10 years, I could celebrate St. Paddy's Day in England. I could wear an Irish shirt and you could say you were Irish, but if you say you're Irish in most of Northern Ireland, including where I live, it's like you're not Irish, you're British, and you must basically say you're British. So we can't do anything, which is ridiculous. Like I could go to America and have an amazing St. Patrick's Day, or England and have an amazing St. Patrick's Day, but in certain areas and where I live, the whole town that I live is very, very steeped in Britishness and, God just save the king and all this sort of thing, and you're not allowed to. It's almost seen as like you're an IRA sympathizer if you identify as being Irish. I know that sounds ridiculous, but so I shall be doing naff all as usual, apart from wanting to be doing something and not able to. Which is a bit of a shit answer, but that's the truth.
Not a shit answer. It's what you live.
You're
terrible.
putting light on it. You're putting light on it.
That's not right.
No.
It's like it sucks because fucking I think you have the nicest part of the country. Like I was at Derry. I was at the Derry Wall and stuff, and
that's one of the few places where you could actually celebrate it, but you're not allowed to call it Derry. You have to call it London Derry.
London Derry. Yeah.
No, don't call it Derry, please. I mean, we're not allowed to call it London Derry or Derry. It's ridiculous. It's
the one thing I kind of fucking find sucks is that, like, it's been fucking ages now and people are still holding these stupid fucking grudges. And it's like, come on, who gives a fuck?
The amount of diversity we have in this country, people from all different countries, all different sexualities. We've got so much diversity, but still in certain parts of the country, people are still
that same old.
It's just it's ridiculous. It's madness. A lot of people actually move away for that. A lot of people that aren't like that move away for that reason. And I had moved away for a long time, and obviously I came back for my parents and their health and stuff. But if my parents were no longer here, I probably wouldn't be here anymore. I'd probably move back to England because there's so much more freedom. It's just everything's it's not like that where Marty is down south. It's very much you celebrate your culture, but here unless your culture is in agreement with everyone else's, it's not nice saying that because a lot of people here are lovely people, but like anywhere, the small element of people that make the most noise tend to be the ones that are, they'd be racist, they'd be bigoted, they'd be sexist, they'd be, transphobic, all that stuff. That's the type of people that tend to shout the loudest. So,
Us in America don't know anything about that, Lisa. It's all rainbows and sunshine here.
I know. I need to move to America, honestly.
Do you fucking mad? You just elected a fucking snake oil salesman for a fucking president. Jesus Christ. No.
Yeah.
There is that.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Do they does Belfast, and I know last time I was there, they still had the walls kind of separating off the Catholic from the Protestant areas. Do they still have the walls in Belfast?
They have in one specific area. They still have massive. Did you actually see it? It's like ridiculous. Yeah, they still have that, and it's not as bad now as it once was. Obviously, the Troubles people were killing each other, but now it's very much you don't go to certain areas if you're Catholic. Again, on the other side, you don't go to certain areas if you're Protestant, which is ridiculous because most of these people aren't even religious. It's not.
It's more cultural than it is religious.
It's ridiculous. It's anybody with any brains just doesn't feel that way at all, and it is a lovely country, and there's some of the scenery here is amazing, and a lot of the people are gorgeous, but there's just that element that. But I think you get that everywhere. You get different things in different places, but that's one of the main things here. Like for me, being I identify as being Irish because my whole family go back to like the south of Ireland originally, and that's a lot of people in Northern Ireland came in from Scotland and England, so they tend to identify as being Protestant. I identify as being Catholic Irish. So, I don't know why you can't live and let live, like we're all the same people at the
I
end of
know.
the day. But,
Yeah.
I know, yeah.
oh, what can you do?
That's the thing.
Right.
People are they identify traits that they're important, but they shouldn't be the only thing you identify by. And it's such a strong thing. It doesn't matter what it is. If it's religion, politics, whatever. It's such a anyway.
I think it's great to have, like Jen put it great, religion is it's good to have it. It's like a penis.
It's
You
like
should
a
be proud of
penis.
it, but don't shove it into someone's face. Don't be shoving it into anyone's face. It just
Jen,
causes
that needs
more
to be
trouble.
on a t-shirt.
I have always likened that expression. I always have.
It's very good. It's true.
But yeah, myself and this gorgeous lunatic, we're going to be reviewing Leprechaun 2 on fucking Paddy's Day.
Oh,
Are you
wow.
serious?
You,
Oh,
you're
man.
actually
So
gonna do
it's
it,
a
huh?
bad movie.
Oh, man,
It's
damn.
great, darling. It's one of the best in the franchise.
Oh, Mara,
Oh,
you'll have
man.
to get a few Guinness
You
on your
made,
neck
you
in
just, you made
celebration.
a serious drink up for
I
that.
can't because I banjaxed my fucking liver before Christmas and now I can't fucking drink.
Oh, dear.
Oh.
Yeah, that's worse.
You get
I don't know. I started developing stomach issues about 4 years ago. I can't think what it might have been the fucking catalyst for that.
You know what it is? I mean, you need to have Jen there with you in person. That'll take care of your stomach
That's
issues.
what
Oh,
I'm
you want me dead? I'm joking.
My
God.
love will heal him. My love will heal him.
Oh,
Yes,
man.
hard cat dad, you're right.
Oh,
It's the best.
God. Come here. I'm gonna start rounding it off here, but before I go, Triv, what is next for Trivial Theatre?
So as per usual, I am behind on everything. I am currently working on a Canadian public access movie called Phobe, the genetic experiment. Anyway, it's a Canadian public access movie that was made for $500 and it's freaking phenomenal, and I'm excited to talk about it. It's exactly. Lots of favors called in, but after that, I'm gonna go back in and start working on some short form riffs that I have in the can that is turning slightly dusty. But we'll get back into those and yeah, so enjoyed. And Marty, thank you so much. So we do twice a month I do Riff Tracks live streams, and Marty was awesome enough to show up and say hello, and so thank you so much for that. That meant so much.
No, it's always great crack watching you guys take the piss out of movies and have fun just fucking tearing old fucking shitty movies apart.
Yeah, we got into Dan Pack. It was kind of weird.
It was like he was hogging an actual fucking product. It was like this fucking real butter. Is Dan actually selling this fucking butter? But yeah, no. If you haven't checked out Triv's channel, check out her channel, and definitely check out PYTD and herself doing the Riff Tracks game, because it's fucking great crack. Sean, what is next for the horror corner?
Well, I just did a review on The Hole in the Ground.
Nice.
Cool.
Mhm.
How did you know?
I might tackle another Irish horror flick. We'll see.
Leprechaun in space.
But,
Actually, it'd be good. It's coming up. It makes sense.
Jesus Christ, Jen, have you done enough damage? Okay, please.
No, she's not even started.
No, she hasn't. But yeah, I know. Again, another fantastic dude. Check out Sean's channel, and an absolute fun. Yeah, if you haven't checked it out already, because everyone on this panel has contributed to it. Sean done a wicked horror Hangouts retrospective with kind of input from past and future. the word I get future from past members of Horror Hangout. Jesus, I might as well be fucking drinking. But yeah,
Lisa's
no,
in there. Lisa's in.
Yeah, Lisa's
Yeah.
in there.
Great
It's-
segment.
It's a great video, and if you haven't seen it, check it out.
Yeah, but
It-
brought
it-
back some fond memories.
Mhm.
It's kick arse. Monty, what about yourself? What's next for the Horror Miser?
Obviously, I'm doing my Women in Horror series. I already have 2 of those up. One with Lady Sasha. Next one is Ashley Sledge from Sledgehammer Horror.
Nice.
Coming the
Both
next
of them were
will
great.
be, yeah,
Cool.
and coming the next will be obviously our favorite gory B movie from Horror Addicts.
Woohoo.
So I'm hoping, Lisa, I don't know if you got my message. Did she send you a DM right before you told me what was going on? I don't know if you got that yet because I want to see if you want to participate in Women
Was
in
it on
Horror.
Instagram or Facebook?
Facebook.
I probably still haven't. I've got about 60 messages. I haven't read. It's ridiculous. I will go through and find it, Monty. Definitely.
Yeah. So that's what's going on, and I'm going to be watching the latest. I guess you could call it not found footage, but computer screen horror movie. This one's called Bloat.
Yeah, me too.
Okay.
Okay.
Mhm.
Cool.
I like computer screen movies. I hadn't heard of that.
Cool.
It just came
Good,
out
good.
like the 7th.
It just came out. Yes.
Lisa, what is next on your agenda?
Oh, that's a good question. I have done one video, I think, this year, which is a disgrace. I went to see Mulholland Drive last week. Well, I'd never seen it before. It was like a
Nice.
celebration of David Lynch. So I half filmed a review for that, which I haven't put up yet. And
Nice.
there was something else that I've forgotten. I need to get that out. I need to get back to doing something because I've been doing nothing on my channel. But yeah, I want to get back to like instead of weekly watches, I might just discuss like once a month what I really liked in the last month and what I really didn't, and sort of anything that was meh, probably just not talk about it. Try and cut the length of the videos down a bit and sort of do them a bit less regular.
I always love your reviews because it's like every time when you see a movie, it's like you don't like it, but everyone else does like it.
Oh, I must have really fucking odd taste. I'm liking things that everyone else is like pissing all over it, like the Watchers. And I'm not. Things like Everything Everywhere All at Once, it won a bloody Oscar. I didn't like it. The one that won this year, Anora, I didn't like that either. I don't know what's wrong with me. I've clearly
Hey,
got
look,
No. In fairness, you didn't like the Wolfman because everyone fucking hated the Wolfman. That fucking movie.
Here, Yeller, come back,
I
Yeller.
did like the part where it showed, where it shows like being the perspective of the wolf.
Yeah, that was
I like
cool.
that.
Yeah, that's why. Yeah, because I saw that Lisa said she did not like that.
I didn't like the rest of it, but I did like that.
No, okay.
I haven't seen it yet, but I haven't heard too much good about it.
You're not missing anything, Sean.
It's definitely it's
An acquired taste.
it's acquired taste. I liked it because I like what Lee Winnell was trying to do, but unfortunately, it's the first time he's missed.
They were trying to do a Cronenberg-esque version of the fucking Wolfman, which was cool, and in execution was cool, but everything surrounding it, the annoying fucking child, that
Yeah, oh God.
that
Oh, Jesus.
Mommy, Daddy! Jesus Christ, you're 40, for God's sake!
Yeah, that's what Buddy did a rant on that one. He cracked me up.
It was spot on, wasn't it? Everything he said.
Jesus, that fucking discount brand Mark Ruffalo just annoyed the fucking
Mark Ruffalo.
fucking bastard boy. I fucking Jesus. Sorry.
The other rant of yours that I love, Mark, is the one you did about Gladiator 2 with the sharks.
Oh yeah.
That cracked me up. That made me laugh so much.
Oh man.
But no, guys, if you haven't checked out Lisa's channel, what the fuck are you doing? Fucking watch Lisa's channel, or I'll send Jenna.
I know, right?
Because I'm a disgrace. I need to get my arse in gear.
You take the time. You do it when you have the time to be able to do it.
No,
That's with any of
you
it.
got more important things to do right now.
Yeah,
but I need to get back. I need to get something done.
Make sure you check out Lisa's channel, or I'll send Jen after you.
Nobody wants that.
Nobody. Speaking of love of my life, the apple of my eye. What is next?
Little leprechaun.
Yay! I'm trying to get Marty to put a little hat on his penis and like make it.
This is called bedroom. Jen, don't use our foreplay as a fucking.
Sorry.
Do you give it a little beard? That's the bigger question. Does it have a little beard?
No, because Marty says it's itchy. I wanted to like dye my pubes green and then, be like.
That's what you could do for St. Patrick's Day.
No,
Get a little
no,
hat.
no, no.
Dye your pubes green. There.
I-
Paddy's Day sorted.
Dear God, please fix
Oh
my
my God.
liver so I can start drinking again, please.
What's on my channel now, Sean? The video is made. We're just having some editing issues, but I did a very long video on the greatest performances in horror. I'm really proud of it. I tagged
All right.
everybody. Lisa, I'm tagging you when it comes out because I want to hear everybody. Well, what I said in the video is I think everybody's going to have very different answers because what appeals to what was a great performance for one person going to be totally different for someone else, and it could change. Like bar my number one, I could give you a completely different list, but I'm really proud of that video. It will come out. I'm also going to, like Monty, I'm going to see Bloat. I was supposed to see it a couple of days ago, but life has been lifing. And Sparky and I should have a video out on the Rule of Jenny Penn. We want to go see that with John Lithgow. And I'm also going to be doing a stream with Marty, and we're going to be doing Leprechaun 2. Yay! It's the best one, Marty. It's the best one.
I feel you, Marty.
That means so much.
Absolutely.
I'd rather watch the Leprechaun in space than Leprechaun 2.
Sonny, don't go away.
Say, that's like hated more than
I'm
like.
here all
You're
alone.
welcome to join us if you want. You can join us. Join our Irish Isle. Our
Jesus Christ.
Emerald Isle.
Okay, yeah, we're watching that fucking monstrosity on Monday. Hopefully, I will get to the cinema and see Mickey 17 because it's one of my most anticipated for
That looks
this
interesting.
year.
It does.
Yeah.
That's getting really
Interesting
bad
premise.
reviews, Marty, so far.
Oh,
And
fucking
every
shit.
review I've heard has been bad. It
Oh,
looks
really?
interesting, but I haven't heard a positive review yet.
I'll go on a
Vicious.
Tuesday and get a cheap ticket.
Matinee.
Mhm.
I probably I've some fucking figures. Yeah, I'm gonna be fucking broke. I have some figures coming in that I'll probably do a review on. Before I go, I want to give a big shout out to everyone who came into the chat. Ginger Ninja movie reviews, Ben Gribb, absolute legend, Horror Cat Dad, Larry, fucking absolute fucking legend as well. John Steele, thanks a million. Trenchy, thanks for coming in. We had as well John Cleveland. And scroll up to fuck you bastard.
David
else?
Diggs
Brian.
and Eric.
Yeah, Eric was there.
Right.
Mhm.
Trenchy, Jason Callanan was in the chat.
There was a Dana.
Yeah, Dana Earl, yes, another great person as well in the chat. And
Cal was in.
Oh, sorry.
Cal was in.
Yeah, Cal Daly, Dice
Hobbs
was in the
was there.
chat. Yeah,
Yep, nice.
Hobbs Horror. I am so sorry of keeping track. Sorry about this, guys. DMC was in the chat. Screaming plus I was going to say Palestinian. Jesus Christ, no, that's a bit topical.
There was
Wholesome-
Acres of something.
Yeah,
Acres
yeah.
of movies.
Acres of movies.
I
Wholesome
like that
Toy
name.
Father. And this is why I shouldn't host these fucking things because I'm
You
fucking
did fine.
Oh, you did great.
dyslexic as fuck.
You did
but yeah,
grand, son. Just grand.
if I missed
I-
anyone, Rob's vintage video, thanks a million. If I missed anyone, I apologize. Thanks a million for stopping in. But most of all, thanks for letting Sean let me host. Thanks to Triv, thanks to Sean, thanks to Monty. I suppose thanks to my girlfriend here. And most of all, thanks to a very special guest for coming on. Lisa Davies, aka Lisa Love.
Yes.
You've been an absolute
OG.
pleasure to have you on the channel.
Yeah.
You're too kind.
Yes.
Thanks a million. And yeah, with that, let's end it here. So, Shlana Walia and
Look at the Irish people!
Nice.
Grab your Yankee
Jesus Christ, Jen, right. Everyone, have a good night. Bye.
Nice.
Have a great night.
Bye.
Bye,
Bye.
guys.